Hello everybody and welcome back to City Skylines 2, where last episode we just finished building all of these meta blocks. Okay, we didn't get it all done in last episode. This has been a pretty big project, but we did finish it last episode. So I want to take a look at our zoning map here. Yep, we definitely need some work on our zoning. So we need a lot of low density housing, right? This is zoned up as, I believe, medium density up here. So we can go ahead and zone all of that medium density. This is going to end up being low density down here. And judging by the look of all this, it looks like this is broadly handled. Okay, that seems fine then. So this area is already zoned as, I believe, light residential. I believe that's light residential. So we want to continue to zone that way. So we'll just do low density housing out over this direction for now. I'm not going to zone this stuff out here, but everything over this way should be relatively fine to zone it. Then I want to zone this block as well as low density housing. We'll get all of that done, and that'll be absolutely fine. Okay. I'm going to leave the rest of these empty for the moment, but let's go ahead and tick forward here, and let's see what that does to our housing demand. Obviously, we're going to need more, and that's what all of this space is for. Now, this is commercial, I believe. And ultimately, this is going to end up being commercially zoned as well. We may want to just zone that low-density business for right now. So that would be something like this, but I would prefer that to be grid snapped. So low density business from about here up to about here. I don't expect that to fill out quickly. So for the time being, that's fine. I'm just demarking this as a boundary between our industrial and our residential. Since our residential is like sprawling, positively sprawling, we should probably consider expanding this area out over here next. That would be the next location to work on. I would like to check in on how our river is doing. We haven't been running the simulation for a while, but this area looks pretty decent, all things considered. No, this is pretty good, actually. This area here is a little bit suspicious. I think that we need to work on the terraformation right here. So let's grab the slope terrain tool, setting this as our height, and we're just going to try to make this a little bit more uniform here. Kind of like that, except I really don't like what we've got going on here, right? So I would really like to alter this a little bit. Let's just soften this up a bit out over here. That'll probably do the trick overall. So we'll get that a bit softened, and of course we're going to have to grab the slope terrain tool and slope this out of here a little bit more. But something along the lines of that. What I want to avoid is things like this, where we have a deep area and a shallow area. So that is exactly what I'm trying to avoid here, is situations like this one. We'll see what that ends up looking like going forward. This over here, is this polluted water here? It probably is. Oh, hello, that's a flood there. Okay, noted. I'm wondering where our sewer outflow is. It's right here. Okay, we should probably relocate this to be on the other side of this dam. So that would end up being like here instead. Does that require road access? I don't think so. I think it just requires sewage. So then we would grab our sewage pipe here, and that would be, we wouldn't need a combined pipe, just a sewage pipe. That would connect out like that, right? Okay, so that's no longer going to be pumping sewage in here. That's a good sign. I'd also want to take these sections of road out here, and I'd like to work a little bit on this area. Specifically, what I want to do is I want to level this out here. And I probably want to grab a little bit more altitude, like around here. Okay, something about like that. Then we can run this road in over here. That is reporting as in water right now, and we will likely need to wait on that until this flows out. So for the moment, that's fine. I want to make sure that this is not going to be having that bridge there. So the problem with the bridge is that it doesn't give us zoning squares, right? And so actually, look at that. That needs a lot of softening. Okay, let's just do that for the moment. And we can grab the slope terrain tool and we can grab a slope down through here like this. And then we can see about building this road through. I don't love what we've got going on here. This is because of this, I suspect. So let's rebuild that with that particular house bulldozed. That house was causing a lot of terraforming there. But if we were to bring this in, I don't love it, but it seems okay. It seems okay. Now we bring this down approximately like so. And then we bring this down to be somewhere out over here, right? Now, why is that curving upwards so much? Please don't curve upwards. This isn't a ski jump. I don't know why we have a ski jump here now. Okay, let's just let this run for a little bit here. I don't love these tunnels, though. I really don't love those tunnels. Okay, let's try this again. This time building it from back here. Nope. I hate it. Okay, so what we're going to do in that case is we're going to grab the slope terrain tool and we're just going to yoink all the way down through here. Okay, so with that done, now we're going to build this up through here.
Host, J. Thomas Hornbuckle.
It's
Tune in tomorrow for a second chance to hear
acceptable?
the music of yesteryear.
A housing shortage is
Almost. It's almost acceptable.
Right.
We're not seeing squares coming out over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all of these structures that are in this particular area. This area is apparently prone to flooding. What was that? A small playground? Okay. I'm going to relocate that to just be up over here. Okay. So this area is apparently pretty prone to flooding. So let's just get this out of here. Let's get the flooding fixed. I did not mean to delete that section of highway, but it will not be a problem to reconstruct. Okay, so I'm just going to get all of that out of there for the time being. Okay, next I want to get this through here. That'll do. And I think at this point what we need to do is we need to grab the level terrain tool at this height. And I'm just going to build that straight through like that. Obviously, that's going to create some problems, but we'll get to that. So for right now, I do want to go underground here and get rid of this section of pipe, which is clearly no longer necessary. We'll do something like that. This doesn't connect here anymore. Okay, that's a combined pipe, and we can certainly build a combined pipe that connects into Sycamore Street. Okay. So that's fine. Now, I want to get this section of highway redone here, because this clearly does need to get redone. Just the height is all wrong there. So at this point, we're going to bring this in over to approximately here. Overlapping items, it's for this particular road here. So I'm going to drop a pillar here, and now we can probably bring this in somewhere out over here. Okay. That'll do for the moment. Excellent. Then what we want to do is we want to have some sort of a smoothing happening here, right? So I want to soften this out, or perhaps even slope this area. Yeah, I think we want to slope it running this direction. So we can certainly do that. That will end up resulting in this height. And we can just bring that down like so. And we'll just get that all set up over here. Actually, I want this to be like this height, right? And then this would be this height. And then we can get that smoothed out. So we'll soften that terrain all the way through here. Excellent. I'm not noticing significant issues with the highway, so that's very, very good. And then this area out over here. At this point, we want to take the slope terrain tool, and we just not like that exactly. More like this. Okay. There we go. And I want to soften this out over this direction. I'm a little concerned about flooding here. In fact, I'm pretty concerned about flooding here. So I want to grab this altitude and just do something kind of like that. Softening this back out. Yeah, I'm rather concerned about flooding in this area. So at this point, I want to grab the level terrain tool down here and just carve up something about like that. Hopefully we don't have any flooding here. That might be an issue. If it is, we can definitely build in a wall there. Over here, I don't love the terrain issue that we've got here. So let's think about like a slope terrain tool from here to here, making it be kind of like that. Okay. It's not perfect, but it will do for the moment. And let's just continue to build this guy out over here. Now that's reporting as in water. We could put it here, and that's absolutely fine. And then from there, we can curve that over to here. I don't love the setup that we've got over this way, though. So I'm going to take that out of there for the time being and bring this in to be more along the lines of, I would really like it to go about here. And that does actually function. So we could do that. Yeah, that'll work. Next, of course, we're going to need to build up our road here. That'll end up going about like... I don't feel like that's perfectly straight. Just snap to angle, please. Yeah, that's more like it. About like that. Then, of course, we're going to need to build this road that goes down over here. That'll do. Okay, now the only thing that we need is our pipe down over here. This is not connected currently because we rebuilt that road. So let's get that taken out of there, and then let's rebuild this section of pipe. Okay, that should make this area considerably less prone to flooding. I think that there's still some flooding risk here, to be sure. I think that there's definitely still flooding risk, especially over here. Ah, this must be row housing out over this way. Okay, that'll be good. So at this point, we are going to want to de-zone anything that's down here, right? So let's just use the paintbrush tool. Is not that useful because it's only one tile. Okay, I'm going to use the bucket fill tool to remove these. That'll be fine. We don't want residential at the bottom of our river. That would not be ideal. I don't necessarily love the terraformation situation that we've got going on here. So I'm going to bring this out to be beyond the highway here. And then this I want to just slope down. And it'll be something about like that. Okay. We'll see how that works. It'll take some time for the water to settle here. No doubt about that. But we have a lot of... We really should probably put a meta block of medium density housing up over here, shouldn't we? Now that I think about it. Because we do have about the same demand for both. So we could certainly put one up over this way. And this should still be low density down here. There we go. You should still be low density as well. Then we can have this medium density fill out this area. About like that. And about like that. Okay, that'll do. That is one very blotchy plane shadow from out here. I like how it gets fatter as you zoom out until it just turns into a blob. But as you zoom in, it becomes... Okay, eventually it goes away, but it becomes quite defined as you zoom in, and then it just gets... And then it goes to like this, which is just like a hard shadow. And then it just gets fatter and fatter and fatter. Gotta love it. Okay, so let's continue to tick forward here, and we'll keep an eye on our river situation. Particularly over here is where I'm concerned. Ah, what do we got going on here? something is not connected here. A sewage pipe is not connected. That could potentially be very bad. Our sewage pipe is apparently not connected to the dam because the dam's sewage pipe is connected over here. It doesn't actually go over the whole dam. Okay, I gotcha. That's fine then. Okay, so we're at 32% usage, and there goes the sewage. Excellent. Right out into the ocean this time, instead of, partway up the river. But we've got it at a nice height here, so it'll create a nice, waterfall splashing effect. I'm sure the citizens will definitely be very excited about this as a new tourist destination. I'm sure they will be delighted. So that is absolutely magnificent, and we can see here that, are we at maximum height for our water here? This is still 87% from low water depth? That's insane. It's definitely flowing in there. I guess we'll keep an eye on that. Do we have any flooding up here? Currently, no. I'm very suspicious about right here, though. I think that this is quite likely to flood. In fact, it kind of looks like it's trying to... What is going on here? Okay, that was exciting. It kind of looks like it's trying to right now. So I want to take some action here. So I'm going to turn down the brush size here to, I don't know, maybe like 20. And we're just going to... Whoa, that's strong. Okay, we're just going to add a bit of a wall here. This is a little more wall than necessary, but... That's fine. I would like to just kind of soften this back out. The level terrain tool is really the most convenient for this if the heights are solid, right? So we can just take this in about like this and just be like, I want a wall here. And we can address this wall a little later on. It's not the most picturesque thing in the world, but it will prevent issues of flooding. So that'll be good. It'll take time for this polluted water to flow out through the dam as well. But that's okay. So far, the river appears to be significantly upgraded. I'm a little bit concerned about a couple of areas, particularly this one. But for the time being, I think I'm reasonably content with the river situation. Maybe this over here needs a little work still. Yeah, let's do it. So I'm going to grab the slope terrain tool. We're going to go back up to 100, grabbing this size. And I'm just going to carve in some slopes here. About like so. The hope behind this is that what this does is it makes it so that these areas are just a little bit more even, right? Then what I want to do is I want to use the soften terrain tool and just soften this all out to make it a little bit more likely to flow relatively evenly. About like so. Okay, so checking in at the Heritage Dam, this is at minus 95% from low water depth. I'm not sure I believe it, to be honest. But okay. What do we got going on down here? This one is at minus 87% still. Okay, it might just take some time to fill in what is functionally a reservoir all the way through here. So we'll give that some time to simulate. That is absolutely okay. How are we doing on our demand? Actually, there's not much demand right now. Fantastic. So we seem to have that broadly under control for the moment. I do expect that to change. Absolutely, I expect that to change. So we'll keep an eye on the demand situation, but for right now, seems okay. So this water depth, right? I'm wondering, it's probably because of the depths in front of here, isn't it? I bet it is. So if we lower this down to basically minimum here, right? And then we were to grab the level terrain tool, grab this height, and just push that across. And then push it across over here as well. I expect that this would fix the problem, although it would create other problems, right? Now what we need to do is we need to take the slope terrain tool, grab this height, and we need to just slope this down. That's going to be a whole thing, but something along the lines of this. And then we just smooth that all out. I don't expect this to go absolutely great, but what we're looking to do here is less make the river pretty at this moment and more make the dam function correctly. Okay, so I expect that to be significant issues. Yeah, that is significant issues indeed. The water is going kind of crazy. And we've got a bit of a tsunami going. I'm not shocked about that.
Due to poor road conditions.
But we can see here that did indeed fix the dam.
And try to stay off the
So
streets until
that is good to know.
conditions improve.
I
This has been a
do
local public
expect
service
that this water should
This is
level
some
out
new
eventually.
radio
It should clean
classical
itself
modern
up-ish.
Unlike most modern music,
I mean, we'll run into some situations like it's going to pool down here at the
sitting
bottom
in
of
front of a
Prospect
sheet
Street,
of
right?
blank
So that is definitely a
using
little
only
concerning.
their
I mean, the whole
imagination
tsunami situation is a little
to
concerning.
a silent
to be
audio
honest.
masterpiece. Now,
I wonder how far
please
it'll
sit
spread.
listening
We
and
did a
hold
lot of
on.
terraforming here,
Our
so
souls are
like that's a lot of water that had to move there.
But let us not tarry.
No doubt about
On
that.
to the next.
We'll keep an eye on situations like this. I expect this to become a little lake.
And when business is doing well, that
But yeah,
floats our boat.
It's
There's no
going to be
sinking
a whole
this
thing.
boat, Glenda.
I don't know why that creates a bunch of
We're
water, but it
live,
does.
and
It's
we're
kind of
getting
weird.
reports
It's
about a
like
traffic
you create an air pocket down there, right? You don't. Well, actually, it
in
might
the
even
city.
be a
Road
vacuum.
maintenance services have already
You
been
wouldn't
dispatched,
create
and
a whole
traffic
lot of
should
water.
return to
So
normal.
there is
But
that.
if you're planning a quick
Now,
trip
as
out,
I said,
you
at the
might
bottom
want
of
to wait a little
Prospect
while
Street
until
here, it's
everything clears up.
absolutely going to
If you're
pool.
in it, you,
And that is
you already
relatively
know.
expected.
No use reminding
We've got
you.
some issues
Meanwhile,
over here from that
expect
for sure.
delays and drive safe.
I'm not surprised that we are having some flooding issues along the shore. That said, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be at first there. It seems kind of okay. Wait, is this a fire? Oh no, it was destroyed by flooding. It was waiting for a hearse. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough on that one. So mostly I'm concerned about like Prospect Street here, maybe a little bit about Robin Street. However, this is definitely flowing this way. So I think overall, we're going to be okay on that front. Yeah, Prospect Street is also flowing this direction for now. We'll keep an eye on this situation. I do think that this will ultimately, broadly, fix itself. But I'm not 100% certain on how this water physics in this game works. It's definitely different from City Skylines 1. And yeah, we can see we're flooded here, but it's going to take time for this water to shake out and figure out where it's going to go. Is this a very sharp transition here? It kind of looks like it is, but we have a lot of water flowing down here right now. And of course, the amount of water is going to be dropping up here until it flows through the dam, right? So this water level is going down at this moment, and that's absolutely fine. Broadly, this hasn't done nearly as much damage as I thought it would. The surge is, I think, down here at this point, and by and large, our seawalls are holding. So that's great. Might have a few issues like here, potentially. But no, overall, I think this is good. So if we look at this, this is at low water depths minus 63% now. So I want to take a look at the actual terrain here. It might be because there's not that much of a differential between these two sides. Out of curiosity. Actually, this side is higher than this side. That might have something to do with it. Let's just bring this on out of here. I don't really care about the water depth over here, right? But we just do something along the lines of that. What does that do to it? Boom, 6% water depth. Okay, I can live with that. That is a significant power gain. Now, as far as the water damage up here goes, most of the water is gone at this point, and it will continue to flow down here, of course. There is locations like this. Potentially problematic is the term I'm going to use. We'll keep an eye on it and see what that ends up looking like, and if locations like here on Prospect Street, as previously stated, see if those end up flowing out or evaporating. That may end up happening, or potentially if there is some sort of a pumping service with like road maintenance depot. I don't think that's the case. City Skylines 1 absolutely had a pumping service, and it was very convenient for situations like that. Did we not rezone this? Hang on. We did. It just never rebuilt. Okay, fair enough. That's fine. Now it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to keep an eye on the river and see how it behaves under the current paradigm. I think we've got some issues potentially here, but we can definitely address those later on. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.